Hello everyone, my name is Ed Verhamy and I'm a engineer at LimnoTech in Ann Arbor. Today I'll be walking through our data dashboard for the expanded water quality monitoring project in the Western Lake Erie watershed. Um, this dashboard will give you a quick at-a-glance look at what's going on at our stations in the 5 priority sub-watersheds. You'll be able to see water level changes in real time, weather conditions, and soil moisture. So let me jump into the walkthrough. We will share the link for this is greatlakes.org/WLEB monitoring. And if you go to that website, it's our project webpage. Scrolling down, you can see the monitoring data dashboard link here. This will take you to our public dashboard for the project. There are 5 priority sub-watersheds. You can see them listed here: Lime Creek, South Branch Raisin, Nile Ditch, Saline River, and what we call the SS La Pointe Drain, which is just south of Monroe. If you click on any of these links here, it'll take you to a landing page for that sub-watershed. I just clicked on the Lime Creek watershed. If you'll notice along the top, there's several tabs available here. So right now we're looking at the water level layer here for Lime Creek. The map here shows a quick at-a-glance look at our stations that are installed, and also showing the current relative stage at each location. So this is the water level increase above the baseline or dry conditions. Down below, you can see a plot of all the water level data. By default, it should load the last 24 hours here. So we can see each station listed. If I hover over it, it'll give me a readout of the measurement at that timestamp for all the stations here. One thing to point out quick is in the upper right, there will always be an option to change how much data is shown here. So you can see the last 24 hours is shown. If I click this, it'll bring up a pop-up which will allow me to change either the stop date to a custom range or give you some quick ranges. I do like looking at the last 7 days. It gives us an idea of what's happened recently. It is June 15th here, and so I know we had just a little bit of rain over the weekend. So we can see this super tiny increase in water level. We didn't get a lot of rain, but a tiny bump. And we can see in the upper right, this just shows the latest elevations and then the minimum water level during that time. Each tab shows a little bit different information about the watershed. So weather and soil is our next tab. This will show the weather stations that we have installed in this watershed. There's 2. You can see air temperature is shown. If I click on these logos or icons here, it'll bring up just a quick little table showing all the current readings from that weather station: air temperature, wind speed in miles per hour, the wind direction, which is a compass heading. So this is from the southwest, wind gust, solar radiation, and this is in Siemens. Actually, I don't know the units on that. We'll click on it in a minute and we can see the units on that in just a minute. And then the relative humidity here. We can see a plot of wind speeds at these 2 locations. We also get a report out min and max temperatures, min and max wind speeds. We can expand the window a little bit to see the rest of it. And then also it shows our rainfall here. We're plotting the last hour, 12 hours, 24 hours, and then the accumulation over our dashboard time frame, which is the last 7 days. So we can see we got a little bit of rain sometime in the last 7 days. And we also have soil moisture and water content. So we can see our soil moisture here is relatively low. We can see a plot of those further down here. Soil moisture is going to be on the right-hand side, and we can see our graphs plotted here. If we want to turn off some things, we can turn off the rainfall amounts, and we're just left with the soil moisture plots here, which is again reading this percent on the right. So we can turn on and off different time series to minimize what we're seeing, or turn them all on. Switching over to water quality tab, this is going to be our measurements of turbidity, conductivity, and water temperature. The map here just shows the water temperature. We can again click on each one and it'll show us turbidity in NTU, as well as our specific conductivity in microsiemens per centimeter. We can see the plot period here as well. We're still looking at the last 7 days. So we can see that we had a spike or two of turbidity at some of these stations in the last 7 days. So 600 NTU, that's pretty high. In most stations, however, we're hovering pretty low. Again, we can see in the single digits. We're trying to watch out for when these stations actually go dry, when water levels drop below the position of our sensor. We can kind of tell that by seeing conductivity being very low. So if conductivity is below 200, you can see many single-digit conductivities here. Those are going to be dry locations. So we have to watch the interpretation of turbidity a little bit for dry stations, but you can see if there's water at the sites, we'll generally have higher conductivities. And then water temperature plotted here as well. Again, if it's not in the water, it's probably measuring just the air temperature. And then this last one just shows a map of the stations. Oh, looks like I need to get that fixed, but that should show. Oops, I got to refresh here. Sorry about that. So if the dashboard does hang up, just hit that refresh button and it'll just reload your view. Yep, there we go. The map loads again here. So this is just a little more of a image map of where the stations are at. Shows how much watershed area is upstream, and also shows the drainage area to that point in square miles. I did want to show you over the weekend we had some rainfall in the Saline River watershed. So if I go back to my main project dashboard there and I clicked on the Saline River, we can change to the last 7 days again and look at water level. And again, here we can see that event I'm talking about right around Sunday morning here, June 14th at about 10 a.m. We had a pretty hard rain. Water levels jumped about 1.5 feet at some sites and have already decreased here into Monday morning. So it's nice to see that response. If I click on the weather and soil, we can see how much rain accumulated. So in the last 24 hours at these two sites, we received a little over an inch at this, what we call the SR2 site, and then a little less than an inch at the SR7 site. So those sites are just west of Saline, and we can see that here. We can also see our soil moisture here at the bottom. At least one of the sites really jumped up. So let me just turn off the rainfall. So we just have soil moisture shown. It's really that SR2 jump. The SR7 site already had a little bit higher soil moisture, but not a spike associated with this one. So I think there's ground was then pretty dry here. If you look at water quality, interested to see what turbidity response we had during that event. If I just focus on that last real 48 hours, I was going to change it to just Saturday at midnight through this morning. And we can see that when that event started yesterday, we had turbidity spikes up to 1400 NTU and quickly are dropping back down already. So that event was certainly enough to mobilize some sediment. We saw water levels rise about 1.5 feet. We can see some sites that were dry, that had low conductivities here, that rose up, meaning there's water at the site. So Again, this is just a quick at-a-glance look showing you some of the options of how to view the data, what plots are available. And yeah, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out, and good luck exploring the dashboard. Thank you.